Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 28th, 2020, and I want to remember a time when in Chicago I was one of the founding members of the Pink Angels Anti-Violence Project, which was a very important volunteer initiative to patrol the streets of the north side of Chicago, in Chicago's LGBT neighborhood, because there was a lot of hate crimes taking place, violence directed against LGBT people. So my friends Bill Deneen and Wendy Ryan and I, and others, but we were among the very first to organize the group, the Pink Angels. And we trained and we patrolled the streets at night. We got our training with the Guardian Angels, street patrol founded in New York City in the 1970s, I think, by Curtis Sliwa. But anyway, the memory I want to share is a lot of times Bill and Wendy and I would get together for strategizing, and we would do this at different restaurants or diners around Chicago. And we also were working with a very talented videographer who was recording, documenting our work and those of some other Chicago NGOs in the anti-violence movement. His name was Dean Bushala from Red Branch Productions, and he and his company produced a brilliant documentary that you can still see. I think I've got some clips on my YouTube channel called Green on Thursdays. Well, anyway, one day in the mid-90s, Bill and Wendy and Dean and I, we were all in a booth at it was a Polish smorgasbord on the north side of Chicago called the Red Apple. And we liked it a lot because there was, all you could eat buffet, and it didn't cost very much, so that was good for all of us. So we went there, and I remember all four of us were crowded in this little booth. And the conversation turned, I don't know who started it, to body scars. Oh, where did you get that scar? And there's always a story behind a scar, sometimes funny, frequently horrifying, So we started out, oh, I got this one. This was me. I have a scar in my eyebrow. I think it's up here somewhere. When I was very, very small, 5 years old. I don't think I was even in school yet. My parents hired a babysitter to look after my brother Matt and I. I don't know why, because we had older brothers who usually did that, but this time we had a babysitter who was doing it. And I remember my younger brother Matt and I were playing Billy Goat's Gruff, whatever that fairy tale thing is, and we had bunk beds, and the ladder that went up to the bunk bed, we took it down and we put it on the lower bed, and that was the bridge. And my brother Matt was the troll under the bridge, and I'm walking across the bridge on this ladder. I'm only 5 years old, and he grabs my leg and pulls me down, and I hit the ladder, and boom, blood all over the place. So I had to go to the doctor, emergency room, stitches and all of that. The babysitter was freaked out, so that's my little scar there. Then the other scar, I don't have a lot, thank goodness, remarkably so. But I don't know if you can see under my chin here, there's a little scar, because in the early 1980s, I was working at a college in Texas, Eastfield College, and when I finished working there and moved on to something else, I got a lump sum payment from them because they didn't take out Social Security taxes. It was some state fund or something like that. Well, I got this check for a couple of $1,000, and instead of reinvesting it or resaving it, who knew that I would need savings later on? So I took this lump sum and I bought a chin. I didn't have one before that. So I went to a plastic surgeon and had a consultation, and he put in this, it's a plastic prosthesis here, and they had to, it was just cosmetic surgery, but they made the incision here and slipped it in and wired it to my jaw and all. So I have to be very careful not to traumatize this. So those are my scars. Be fabulous.